What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another game analysis video today. This is our game this past weekend as of filming this video against AC Syracuse Pulse, which is our in-state rivals in New York, in Syracuse. So we are going to start the game analysis very, very soon. It was a good game for me defensively. Offensively, could make some tweaks, but we'll go from there and discuss a little bit later in the video.
Radio and soccerisakickinthegrass.com. Filling in for Marty Sakala, who is off tonight.
All right, so we're going to play now, and we are getting in the huddle. I just get this little piece in front just to show you we are going right to left. We are in pink, and white. That is our kits, and we'll get really soon into the match analysis. We're going to start with kickoff, and then we'll get into basically all of the touches that I took, including some of my defensive plays as well, even if I didn't touch the ball that well. So here we go, the kickoff, and ball gets played out to one of our center backs, or center mid, excuse me, played out, and then we go from there. This is my first touch, defensive header, ball gets played over, and it's just a matter of getting the timing correct on that header and do a good job of making sure, there we go again, I'll let it play out, and kind of a little funny back and forth header action going on there, and ball comes out for me, and I'm actually going to let this play because it is my throw-in, and we're going to go from there. So this throw-in, I'm going to pause. So this throw-in right here, we sometimes work on rotations as a team of different plays, and certain teams have this, certain teams don't, but different plays based on where you are on the pitch. So in attacking third, throw-ins are going to look different from middle third throw-ins that are going to look different from defensive third throw-ins. But as you notice, our center forward checked in. That's who I was aiming at. Obviously, the right back is a tall guy right here, and he is able to get up for that ball. He flicks it backwards, so that's fine. It's advantageous for us, I guess, because it's going in our attacking direction. But ideally, I'd try to hit it straight into the chest or the feet of our attacking player so that they can dish it to one of the 8s or the 10s and then go from there. So that's something that's really important to think about when you're throwing it in, especially if you're a wing player or an outside back. All right, so we'll play and we'll go from there. Ball gets nicked forward, header out, and we're just trying to, there we go, little touch, play. Was trying to hit one of those two, again, our 8 or our 10. Unfortunately, didn't get there. All right, this is a little just shadow. Shot comes off, gets blocked, no problem. So that's just showing him one direction. That I was finding out pretty quick that he was a left-footed right winger. Here we go, little clearance up the line, straight into our center forward, who does a pretty good job at holding up, gets really physical even though he's not that tall. He's one of those guys that is just absolutely a dog on defense, which is awesome. So ball comes over the top, again, little defensive header, or not that one actually, excuse me, little clearance, so that went over my head. That probably should have gone to the outside, but that's okay. So get the defensive ball up to our center forward again, who does, again, a really good job. Ball comes out, take a touch, and we'll go dribble forward, and I'm going to pause. Okay, so this is a situation where I've beaten my man forward, and we have a 3v3 if you look at our 10, our 8, and our winger, our 7 or 11. And there's a 6, but if I can break that line to the oncoming checking number 10, that's actually might be a better opportunity instead of seeing the right back, not necessarily freaking out, but just going out of pressure and trying to play the 8. He ends up getting out of that situation, which is fine. It's awesome. We keep possession of the ball, but in the future, I do want to make sure that I'm aggressive looking forward. And if I can notice either one, the right back steps to me and I highway him, meaning I touch it around one side and run around the other, and he can't get me because my forward momentum is much faster than he is, or I can fizz that ball into one of the oncoming 10s or the 9 or 8 or whoever's on that other side and get a really good 1-2 play, or give it to the 10 and he can turn and play out to the other side to our right winger. So those are just a couple different ideas of what could have gone differently in that play. I'm getting into my groove offensively. Obviously, defense is my first priority, defense first, as they always say. And so getting into the offensive, it's taken me a couple games to get into that offensive groove a little bit, especially with players rotating in and out of a team, just getting used to me as a attacking fullback and also getting used to the way that I play on the field. So that's no problem there. But again, we got out of it, and our 8 does a really good job of supporting me in that area, giving me a little bit of space to turn to play in the ball, and then he gets out of it. So we'll play, and we'll keep going here. All right, longer clip here, throw in, back to the center back, and I watch my spacing here. So this is really, really important. So ball comes inside, great ball inside, and we just are playing, and you notice my positioning. So as soon as our 10 goes up, I am dropping back. Then I get the ball here, play the ball inside, and we keep possession. Notice how I'm moving my space. I'm watching where everyone else is and moving, making sure that that diamond is all together. So here's a free kick. This one is lofted a little bit too high back post, but that's okay. I'll just show you how that works. So into the back post, good job to get in on it, and I don't know what their back line was doing there, but again, our center forward did a good job of getting in there. Missed that defensive play, but again, just have him stay goal side, play the ball into our center mid. I was calling for it. I was like, hey, leave it, leave it, leave it. And we go from there. Does a good job, and then ball gets played out, 1-2s, and then this is just getting behind the ball and chasing him and holding him up on a 1v1 and making sure that he goes backwards. This shot ended up going out. So here's my ball again, playing the ball into our 10, who's reverted wide, especially in a 4-3-3, and he does a great job of getting that foul. So that's, we're gonna pause right as I'm getting the ball. Okay, so one thing that you're noticing here is the 10 is playing, the 10 and the winger are interchanging quite a bit. And in a 4-3-3 system, especially when you watch teams like City or Barca from back in 09 through 12, when Pep Guardiola was there, you notice how the wingers are super wide, and you sometimes see the 10 or the 8 getting in those wide positions as well. What's happening is, and the fullback stays inverted. And what that does is it really causes hectic rotations for the defensive team. And if you notice in a lot of these clips, my movement is a lot of times inside, or I'll go high and wide, and the 8 or 10 will drop into my space. And it's really about getting that team chemistry to make sure that it's very hard to defend, and it's a situation where we can get players free on the ball who are really good at dribbling. I'm a good dribbler. I can dribble well at pace in pretty much a straight line. I would say my strength is more of long distance runs in behind, getting crosses in and stuff, whereas the 2 players who are playing in front of me, my 10 and my winger, are incredibly crafty, incredibly good, and that's their strength. So as a team, we have to say, okay, let's play to the strengths. Have Noah run in behind and have one of our 10 or our 7 or 11 or whoever's playing on the left side get the ball first. So I rotate in, they get the ball, and then we move from there, if that makes sense. All right, so we'll play quick free kick to our number 10, who, this is so dumb, unfortunately gets, I don't know what the referee was talking about here, but that's okay. But ball gets, okay, next play is another throw in for me. Big throw in into our free man. That's a good throw, I think. He takes a great touch, and then we get another throw in from there. And this is the next throw in. I actually just stay back, give him a little bit, play inside, and we play the little 1-2, and then he actually gets a yellow card for that. So that's a great touch by our number 10 to draw that foul and get the yellow card. Goalkeeper has the ball on this play, and this is very clearly a fast break. So I'm just watching, okay, where's my defender? Head it back to the goalkeeper. That's an excellent, excellent play. That's a really, really good defensive play, noticing where the space is and not playing it forward, because otherwise we would not be in a good spot there, especially because they're counter pressing us. So there's my rotation inside. I'm just gonna have you guys watch this type of rotation. So that's our outside, that's our midfielder now, our 8. Does such a good job of getting in. Unfortunately, oh, there we go. I get the ball, turn, play safe, and then I'm pointing wide, you see that? And unfortunately misses the pass, but that's okay. Here we go, little 1v1 on the side, and should probably block that, but that's okay. We'll, again, more things to learn. That's why we're doing this thing. Defensive throw, again, as you watch, defensive throw comes in, little set back, and big up into the 8 who is checking. Unfortunately didn't get to him, but that's on me. I just got to loft that more. Another defensive header out for a throw, so no problem, just forcing that winger to really bodying that winger and getting in his head a little bit. This one, stick my foot out and win the ball, and this is a little clearance out of bounds. I don't think that was a foul because my studs were down, but whatever. All right, little touch forward, little play, give and go action, and then our 10 does a good job of staying patient and not playing that 1-2, given that there were other guys around me. Good throw in here, and then as you see, I'm showing for the space, take the ball backwards, and just play out of pressure there so we can get our 8 on the ball, who does a really good job of keeping that. Another defensive header out. That's actually an okay header, so I'm going to pause it right there. So one thing about defensive headers is once you are at a certain level, and this is something that I'm continuously working on, is when you're heading the ball in a defensive manner, you have to not only think, where is the player I'm marking? So am I winning it directly over him? In that case, okay, cool, I'm right on his back anyway. Or is it a situation where I'm kind of out in the open, somebody's pressing me really hard, and then the second piece of that is where's the space, and what space do I want to head it into? In this case, the space was out wide, and our whole team got a chance to shift over and defend that area, which is perfect. So if I had hit it back into pressure, that's much more likely for them to counter press us and get on to goal. But instead, heading it away from pressure and just getting it out to the sideline is a much better outcome, especially when I'm backing up and trying to snap head it out, get as much power as I can on coming out, go to the outside, and it gets out of pressure. So just something for you guys to think about in defensive heading. Really make sure, number one, you know where your mark is coming from and where him or her is. And then the second thing is, where is the space and where is the least dangerous area that you can head it in if you're not heading it directly to one of your teammates, right? Something to think about. Okay, so we'll play. And then next clip, I'd come wide this time, get the ball turn, play a little ball, good ball into our 8, who takes a great touch, plays it into our 10, and then we roll out from there. All right, so here's another long ball. So this is a situation where I'm just backing up, checking my shoulder, making sure no one's behind me. He's left-footed, so I'm showing him on his right side, and then he cuts in. We have a guy right there, and then good save from our goalkeeper, and then I'm getting out to that ball and clearing it up the line as best I can. No problems there. All right, next play. Here's a clearance. That's just me calling for the ball. Again, that ball could have gone even further out, but that's all right. Getting the ball back from our number 8, and I'm gonna play the number 8 really quick. He does a great job of getting the ball down. I could have played that on the ground. I should have played that on the ground, but we'll go from there. Little ball out to the 8 as well. He's popped out wide really well here and tries to take a one-on-one, but that's okay. So that's the end of the first half. Again, first half for me was mostly defensive, other than a few clearances and passes I had moving forward. Just getting in the groove of that attacking football, just making sure that I can get as much time and space on the ball as possible, which you'll see a little bit more in the second half as well. All right, so starting the second half, here we go, long again, and that one he did win the header over me, so just got to be more aggressive there. Great tackle by our center back to get the ball out of play. Here we go, their throw in, and this is another defensive movement. Try to get the ball, yep, there we go, and then just back in position, checking my shoulder, making sure he doesn't get behind me. This is, I just show you, so I'm gonna pause here. So again, here's another situation where I didn't necessarily touch the ball, but I was dropping fast enough to understand where my mark was, and of course they hit it way over our head, so it was not a situation. I could have headed the ball, but instead I was getting calls from my teammates, leave it, because they noticed the momentum of the attacking players who weren't able to get to that ball quick enough. So that's just something to think about as well as you guys are going into being really smart with plays as well. All right, so we'll press play and we'll go from there. Next play, ball comes in, and this is just me trying to win that header again, putting pressure on the guy, and then we get a good defensive play out of that. So there's another block, and then our 10 gets it, and I'm just hauling ass up the field trying to get forward. He plays me the ball, but just a little bit, and then I just decided to tactical foul because I'm behind the ball and I don't want to do anything crazy. So we're gonna pause right there. So something about that foul is he was turning the corner around halfway to start going back our direction, and that is something that I have gotten better at as my career has gone forward, is making tactical fouls to make sure that they can stop the play. And especially as a defensive player, when I can't check my shoulder to make sure that somebody's covering for me, I'm just gonna foul, get behind the ball, and we'll reset again. So that's just something in my head. I'm thinking, okay, let's just foul him, hit him really hard, not get a yellow card or anything. I mean, I could have, to be fair, but that play definitely wasn't. and just to make sure that I'm getting behind the ball and playing it safe moving forward. So we'll play. Next play, big ball over the top and putting immediate pressure on his first touch, making sure that he only goes backwards, which is great. And then this, following the runner again, and we go from there. Little free kick, nothing too special. Rotate the ball, nice and easy. Big ball over from the goalkeeper, and this ball is gonna get to me, and I'm gonna play it up. So that probably should have been a pass back to the goalkeeper, but I did see that center forward. This is me again, here we go. I was gonna shoot that, but then I decided to do overlap. Okay, pause. So this is a situation where I told our winger to dry that inside, but then he went inside to outside. And instead of overlapping him, which would basically totally screw our counter press, as you watched, I stopped my run, tucked inside behind him, and that way if he loses the ball, I'm the next line of pressure that happens, and that's really important. If you're an attacking defensive player, attacking wing back or whatever you want to call it, always make sure to notice the movement pattern. So it might be really awesome, you want to overlap, you want to do your stuff, and you want to get forward and get crosses in. If your winger is going to take that guy one-on-one and you know he's going to try to beat the player, instead of trying to overlap and then getting caught out on a counter, you might as well, okay, hold, watch his movement. Okay, he's gonna go outside, cool, I'm gonna stay here, especially when we're in the attacking third. High press, high counter press, and all will go well, right? Cool things. All right, so we'll play. There you go. All right, big one up from the goalkeeper, and this is just me going up for the header, winning the header again. Great defensive work. Ball gets played out, and then I'm right on his back. Get a great pressure, and then we counter into that space. So that's a great defensive play right there. Here we go, doubling up, making sure that he doesn't get anywhere. It ends up going off of me, which I don't think that was correct, but that's okay. Ball comes back to me, and I'm hitting the center forward. I saw the space in behind. He was a 1v1 there, but it's just a personnel thing. He's shorter than those center backs. Those center backs were really tall. This is another play, great stuff, little chip over, and it goes over for a throw-in. So that's a great defensive play right there, making sure that I'm getting, being really aggressive on the winger's back and kind of getting into his head a little bit. All right, ball comes out to me, and I'm gonna play it back to the center back, and as we're gonna move the ball forward, I'm gonna come get it again, give it straight. I probably should have given that to our winger, honestly. Again, trying to play long to that, get our center forward into the mix. Ball comes over to me, and they win the throw-in. Yeah, probably should have just bodied the guy there, but whatever. I get the ball, turn, play the ball into our winger, and he does a good job getting a throw in there. And then I take the ball and get the throw in, and let's see what happens. Ball over the top, great flick by our number 10, and a good shot on goal. So that's a great attacking throw in. Ooh, pause. Okay, yikes. So this is a mistake of a free kick. This free kick was not as good as it probably should have been. We had some players. We did have 3 players on the back post who weren't moving as much. We have a player who's right behind their center back, and then we have 2 players sitting at the top of the 18, which is great spacing from them. That's all. It all looks fine. The back post players probably could be running towards the goal a little bit, but maybe they saw the horrible free kick that I took and just started running backwards, which is fair play to them. That ball needs to go right on top of the 6, in between the PK and the 6, right in the middle or on the back post, kind of on frame, so that if nobody touches it, it would go right into that back post. But that's working on free kicks. That's about 40 yards out, or 40 meters out-ish. And so just trying to get working on those, especially set pieces. Being a left-footed player that's good at dead ball stuff is really advantageous to have on a team, and so I've been working on that a lot, and making sure that I get those longer whipped free kicks in is going to be really, really important moving forward. So it's nothing, it's basically just a learning opportunity for me as well, which is great. So looking back on it, I'm like, man, I should have just driven that ball straight into the back post, but hey, to each, we gotta move on from that one. All right, so we'll play, but again, just making sure I'm getting back. And now you watch my position, I'm dropping into the center back as well. All right, so ball comes out to me this time, and try to find that near post. Outside back does a pretty good job. Head it back into that space, and they get out, unfortunately. That cross probably needed to be a little bit more, have a little bit more oomph on it. Here we go, getting the ball from the center back, playing the ball into the far side winger, who does a good job getting up for the ball. Center back just clears it. He probably had time and space, to be honest, but we just get the ball back in possession anyway. So ball comes out to me again, play it back to our center back, and we come out. All right, we are going to get to the next play. Ball comes into me on the side, play a 1-2 with the winger and the 7. I'm gonna pause right there. Okay, so as you noticed, I'm an outside back. I tucked in, our center forward came outside, and our 10 rotated high, and that rotation, that 3, caused that 1-2 play. I was completely open in the middle, runner comes in behind, we have a checking guy, he runs in behind them. It's a whole thing, it's a whole rotation, and it looks fantastic. So that's just something to think about. We get a throw in their attacking half, which is awesome. Okay, so we'll play, and we'll move from there. Throw in, ball comes right back to me, and this is just a little flick over, good ball into the center forward, but couldn't get a touchdown, which is all right. All right, ball into the winger, and then I'm just staying back behind the ball, making sure this is a fantastic corner right into that perfect area. And you can see our center back going like this, like, oh my God. Great defensive play here. They got a breakaway. I'm covering in, body the guy, slide in, and then make sure it goes out for a throw in. So I'm gonna pause right there. So that play ended up being our goal kick. As you can see, I kicked it out of bounds, but it was a foul on me. But bottom line is, catch up to the guy, body him, force him outside, so it's a weird angle. He's a right-footed player, so make sure that I'm forcing him to his left foot, and then body him as best I can, go to ground, do whatever, be safe, because it's inside the box. But to be fair, they were winning 2-0 at this point, and it was the 90th minute. So for me, it was about just making sure that he didn't get anything on goal. So that was a great defensive play as well, just making sure that that was safety first, basically. All right, so we'll play. So good play there. And last little bit, so I received the ball here, play back to the goalkeeper, reset. That probably should have gone forward, but I was trying to play possession there. There we go, little clearance out with 3 players running into that space. So just need to be a little more accurate on those clearances. And then little play back there, and then there you go. All right, so that is the last play of the game. For me, what I'm taking from this game is good job defensively. So really, really solid defensive work. Well done, keeping my player in front of me, making sure that he doesn't get really any opportunities in the game from free play, whether it's set pieces or whatever. Okay, then that's, I gotta mark whoever my mark is during a set piece, but at least my winger was taken care of, and making sure defensive headers are good, making sure defensive plays are good, clearances out of pressure, which is fine, making sure I'm trying to hit my target man. Our number 9, who usually one of our number 9s who started quite a bit when I first got here, who was injured, he's a bigger dude, so it's quite a lot easier to get the ball into his chest and for him to chest it down when there's big center backs. Some of our players are a lot smaller, and so you have to kind of know your personnel, and this goes for any level of football, right? You have to know your personnel and know what their best attributes is. So if we have a number 9 who's super rapid, play them in behind on the ground. If you've got a big center forward, ping it into the number 9 and then dish to a crafty number 10 or number 8, and then they're able to finesse it somewhere else, right? So really understanding your personnel is something that I'm working on, especially in an active game scenario, so that I know, hey, when I'm clearing the ball, yes, sometimes you have to just clear the ball and to get it the hell out of the place. But there's a lot of times where as you get higher and higher, you have to be so switched on that in the snap of a second, I'm looking up, noticing where my teammates are and clearing the ball, but I'm clearing it with purpose into a space that my teammate is running onto, right, for a counterattack. So that's something that I take from this game especially. I thought defensively I was great in this game. Offensively could have been a little bit more aggressive, and definitely getting used to playing that left back role in the system that we're trying to play. So all good things, solid performance. Unfortunately, we didn't win the game, which was a shame, but we got some pretty good opportunities and just need to put those in the back of the net, and we'll be better next time. So looking forward, as of filming this video, we have 2 games over the weekend in California. So very much looking forward to seeing what that environment and atmosphere is like, especially at the professional level. It's been a while since I played pro in California. I played at LA Force back in 2019. So it's a very cool place to be, and I'm really excited to be back playing against them and playing against some old teammates of mine. So that's it for the video for the game analysis against AC Syracuse Pulse. If you guys do enjoy these types of videos, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment down below which was your favorite play and what position you play, and maybe what kind of videos you guys want to see moving forward from a game analysis perspective. Do you want to do just outside back stuff? Do you want to do midfielder stuff? Should I bring in another player and look at his clips from my team? That might be kind of fun as well. So let me know down in the comments below, and as always, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.